back in July, when we sent our son to Honduras, it was in his heart to go to Honduras and work there and be in missions there and to serve the people of Honduras, to serve the children that are there in that home and free the Oppressed Ministries. And he went there because it was in his heart. He absolutely believed that Yahweh had given him a word and that he was to go and that he was to commit himself there. And he left in July, and every 90 days, by Honduran law, their visas are only good for 90 days. So every 90 days, you have to leave the country for 5 days. So then you can go back. So he had to come home to honor that clause. We didn't want him to get arrested. So he came home, and then he goes back again on Thursday. But what I've asked him to do, and he hasn't had much time to really prepare anything, but I've asked him just to come and take a few minutes and share with us what the Father is doing there, what he's doing there, and just give you and me and us an update on what's going on in Honduras, what's going on in Free the Oppressed Ministries, what's going on in his life. So would you put your hands together? Welcome, as Gaston said, a son of this house, a son to my wife and to me, and a brother to each of you. Would you put your hands together and welcome Joshua Parker as he comes, please? You don't have to, you can stay down there.
Hello, hello. Hello. All right, this is completely unprepared because honestly I haven't prepared anything.
It's okay.
This is the living room, so I'm just talking in my living room. It's been interesting, It's been really interesting. Just with Jimmy, his energy, and for those of you who don't know him, he's Red Bull in his blood, so he's a piece of work. But leaving, when did I leave? July 10th? July 11th. I was in San Pedro Sula, is how you would say it, for a week. And that was really interesting because we were at a thing called FNEC, or what's it called? I got to get this right. It's Full Gospel Businessmen of something something. So I got the first 3 letters right. But it was a really big thing because when we were there was over 5,000, 6,000 people in the crowd. And it was from people from China, from Africa, from Asia, from here, mostly from California, but and just all over the world. And I got to meet a lot of interesting people. For those of you who know, I know the guy. I've met Marcos Witt. Got to go to dinner with him. Got to go to dinner with his son, and also the president of Honduras. So that was very interesting. And I don't know. It's been a ride. To be honest, I'm really unprepared, but I'm just gonna spit as it comes out of my brain. But that was a really bad, how do I say it, way to prepare me for what was to come. Because when I got there, we were eating good dinners, we were eating steaks, and drinking good water and whatnot, and then a week later, I'm going to Sambrano, and I'm like, all right, so this is where the real journey begins. So that was interesting because initially, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but initially I moved into the boys' house, and I had complete reign over all the boys that Jimmy has, which are from 11 to 19 years old. And it's very weird being put in that position because there is a 19-year-old, and for me, right off the bat, I got them all together, and I was like, I want this to be a brotherhood, not a power thing, because I don't roll like that. That's not how I roll. So, and honestly, in the end, that was a mistake because they would take advantage of that. But so I regret that, but I tried to be okay. Yeah, because whatever they did wrong, because my job in that house was to make sure they clean. They do their homework. They get to school on time. They bathe. They don't like to bathe. And their clothes are folded. They're military. You know how Jimmy is. Because if they're not, he'll go crazy. But and a lot of them would not do their job in the morning because we get up every morning at 4:30, and we clean and we take care of the cow and whatnot. And if they didn't do their job, if they didn't do one job, if they made their bed and there's a wrinkle in the bed, I'm getting the heat. So, and that's really frustrating. And for a month, I went through that, and I was like, okay. After the month, I was like, this is done. You know, I'm cutting the string. So, you know, I don't care who's my friend anymore. You know, I'm going in. So I started calling on people and having to call Rev, and, you know, a bunch of them had attitudes with me. But, I mean, in the end, they were all cool. So the first month, that's where I was. And then a little incident went down, something that I didn't think was a big deal, and I got moved to the missions house, which is the rehab. And I live there currently. And I live with them, among their room, among them, and all their many issues. You know, I wake up, I clean with them, I eat with them, I do a lot of things. And honestly, the food, let's go over food. So, you know, here, you can go to Wendy's or McDonald's or even Publix, which is my all-time favorite, which I've really had to backlash from. But we eat a lot of soup. So, and not like soup with meats and stuff. It's like soup with, it's like broth with some veggies in there, with some Honduran veggies. There's stuff we don't have here that they do. And among that, you know, when I see a chicken, when I see a chicken, you know, I don't think it's a pet or anything. I think, okay, that's food. That's, you know, that's a big, nice chicken. So when I see it, you know, there's the chicken, but I see here, like I see right there, because that's the meat of it, right? All right, I see, you know, the breast area, you know. Okay, calm down. Okay. Calm down. But when they see, like, my lip, like, I like foam in the mouth because I'm seeing chicken. Oof, that's good. But when they see the entire chicken, you know, they see the whole thing as a meal. So, I'm surprised they don't eat the feathers. But, like, when we cut the chickens up and we kill them, because we have chickens of our own, and slaughter them and eat them for the whole ministry. But they, you know, they cut the necks off, they cut the feet off, and they prepare that as a whole meal. I mean, I eat 2 times a week, chicken feet, chicken neck, chicken heart, chicken liver. We eat it all. Like, there's no wasting food there. And then, so it's really not that bad once you get used to it. The feet are still a little bit of a push, but, I mean, I don't want to put toes in my mouth. Any type of toes. So, yeah. And then fish. And for me, we eat fish probably like once a month. Like, that's like a delicacy. But when they eat the fish, and this is normal for me, you know, you see they cook the whole fish. It's not like skinning it. You don't skin it at all. But when they cook the fish, you know, I see again, this area is food, right? But when they cook the fish and they put it on your plate, look, I'm looking around, you gnaw on everything. You're supposed to eat the fins, eat the gills, eat the bones. You eat it all. Like, oh, they eat everything. You know, you get what you can get. But that's really interesting. So I've been missing that. Eat a lot of rice, eat a lot of beans, and eat a lot of eggs. A lot of eggs, which is okay, but not a lot of calories for me. Let's see. What else? Talked about food, my living conditions. But, okay, now I've met, although it's not, you know, it's not like here. You can go to the store and get whatever you want. I've met a lot of amazing people, and a lot of relationships that I've made will probably be for the rest of my life. And a lot of those relationships were actually made in the missions house with people who have issues. One of my best friends actually came from me from San Pedro, and he's from Peru. He had a lot of issues, a lot of stuff, and then just recently, actually, I just finished a fast the day before I came here, a 3-day water fast. So that was a struggle for me because I'm already not getting a lot of food. So how am I just gonna cut it all off? But you know, we just did our thing. But and then we had a deliverance the night before I came here. So I'm looking a little thin. You know, I haven't eaten, but I'm coming here. Good Lord, this food is brutal on your body. To be honest, I didn't realize how bad this food was until I came and started eating it. But I don't know. Yeah, I've met a lot of amazing people. A lot of issues, but at the same time, you can see through that because in all, they're there to get better, and a lot of them do. And then there's also a lot of people who go to the mission, and they show like they're getting better, and then they leave, and you see them on the street doing the same old things. And it's really unfortunate that they don't take advantage of the time that they have there. But you just kick them to the curb and just don't talk to them anymore. But no, that's not how it is. But let's see. Yeah, I've met a lot of people. My job, I can take you through my schedule, I guess. On how much time do we have? I don't want to say the same thing, but I guess I won't take you through my schedule. I'd take a minute because it's all over the place. But for Spanish, those of you who are wondering how my Spanish is coming, it's not an easy language to learn. It's really not that easy. And along with that, because I've traveled all over the place, so I went to Ocotepeque, San Pedro, El Salvador, Guatemala, and all the Spanish is different. Like you can understand them, but when they're talking to you, they use a lot of words that you don't use. Like for here, and a lot of people who learned book Spanish, they use tú and eres and stuff for like you and you are. But over there, we use vos and sos. So, and then in Guatemala, they use tú, eres, and Peru, it's just all over the place. So, and it's stuff that you can really understand if you understand all of it. But that's been the biggest deal for me, because the first thing I did when I got there was I asked one of my really good friends, his name's Beppe. His mom is the one that was head of the 18 gang, and he's a great kid. He's got a lot of issues and whatnot, but in the end he's a good guy. But he's been mostly my teacher, the only person that would actually put in the time, because I'd come home when I lived over there, and he'd be like, look, we got to do Spanish now. Like, we got to work on Spanish. So he really kept me motivated to try to learn. And I was learning just naturally being around it all the time, but at the same time, you got to sit down. You got to study vocab. You got to study sentence structures and all that, which is, tasking when you're tired at the end of the day. But he would keep me really headstrong in learning it. But as a result, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. I can't just speak it off the top right now. It's gotta be a conversation's gotta be initiated. But you better go. Cite, I don't even know that. See, I'm still learning. I don't know what cite means. What I do? I see, this is weird. I don't like that. Okay, so I'll speak to you in a one-on-one, but when I'm in a group like this, I get nervous, and then my brain goes crazy, But I don't know. God, I just got called out, huh? I don't know. I don't. This is weird. I don't like this because you don't know what I'm saying, and I don't. No. But, not how I roll. But, algo, okay. En casa de menciones. Sí, con muchas personas. Sí, mal persona. Ah. No, con muchas personas. Con 30 personas. 30. Sí. Yeah. Okay. Okay. 75% of you could probably do exactly what I just did. No, that was easy. No. Okay, exactly, yeah. From Honduras, but yeah.
Hold on, I gotta tell on him though. I gotta tell you this. What was funny to me, one of his stories that were hilarious, is he was talking about how Jimmy when he first got there and he didn't understand all the Spanish, and one of the words that they use that's different than here is he would have a conversation with him over the telephone. So one day Jimmy calls him on the telephone and he's telling him to do something.
I can tell the story.
Yeah, you tell it.
So, in English, and I don't know if they do it in Cuba, Puerto Rico, y'all are, right? When you're on your phone here, you say bye. That means the conversation's over, bye. But over there, it's very confusing because I hate talking on the phone. When he calls me, I go, oh, because anyone who calls me, I'm just like, oh, no. So, you answer the phone and you have your conversation, and then they go, bah. And when I hear bah, I'm thinking, okay, all right, you hang up the phone, right? It's over. We're done. I'll see you later. But that doesn't mean bye. So, and I've hung up on plenty of people and I've gotten in trouble because they go bah, and I'm like, okay, bah, and then I hang up the phone. But that just means like good, like we're good. I understand you. What you said makes sense to me. But Rev, he'll do it like I've learned now, but he'll go blah, 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 bah, and then I'll be like bah, and then he'll continue to keep saying something, and then his bye and bah sounds the very same. So, he's the first one to hang up every single time, because I'm just sitting on the line like, okay, it's over. But yeah, that's that story. A lot of my stories that I have to tell, I can't really tell over live stream, just because of some aspects of the stories. But I don't know. I guess I could give you a nice image of what you have to expect in 2 weeks with Jimmy. Or Rev, I'm sorry. Get in trouble. So he's very militarized. He's like guns down, militarized, ready to shoot at anyone at any moment. I've heard many stories where on the compound where I'm at, he's come out guns blazing at people who just come rolling up on the property. He's just come shooting at them with, not pistols like here. I mean, he's shooting with machine guns. So, yeah. And along with that, there's also the need to be clean and the need to have everything in order, which is great. But I've had to get used to that. I mean, I'm not a dirty person. I like things clean. I don't want to be sick and whatnot. I'm a germaphobe, thanks to Cody. But there's also things that I have problems with, like my clothes. Sometimes I'll just throw them on the floor, not necessarily where they need to be when I'm home. So a little quick story. So I live in the kids' home, for those of you who know or don't know. And one morning I was getting in a lot of trouble, just not me personally, but the boys who weren't doing their jobs right, getting in a lot of trouble. So I was like, you know what, this morning we're going to wake up and we're going to do everything perfect. We're going to actually please this man instead of stress him out. So I get up, we're doing all our jobs, clean the bathroom, the floor, the walls and whatnot. And I made my bed perfectly, not a single crease, so I thought, crease, I put my shoes where they need to be. I put my, clothes in order. And I'm like, this is great. This is going to be a great day. I'm not going to get a phone call from Rev. And I'm walking, I'm having a great day. And then I hear my phone ringing. I'm like, okay, this is one of two things. This is either good or bad. But I look at my phone and it says Reverend Jimmy. And 75% of the time I see that name on my phone, I'm going to get yelled at. So I answer the phone, and the first thing I hear is, you were an American pig. I'm like, I'm having a good day. I'm thinking, everything's great, right? Like, wow, I'm skipping through the streets. So immediately I just, I'm just hanging my head down. Okay, all right. And he doesn't let you speak. You want to respond to him, he'll cut you off and just call you a name. And I love you. If you're watching, I love you. You're a great guy. But I mean, he'll completely just destroy you on a whole new level. And just, American pig, I've been called that way too many times. Americanized, you got to break that. But I don't know. He's a ball of energy. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm not, honestly, ever since I've been here, I've been cold. Like right now, I'm a little chilly because we don't have air conditioning over there. So, when I'm over here, I'm cold, especially in our house, because I guess we just got new air conditioning units, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, it's a freezer when I walk in there. But it's not bad because the climate there is really good. In the morning, it's in the high 50s. You're actually kind of chilly. Like, I've woken up plenty of times in the night really cold. And then in the afternoons, they're like 75, 76. But along with having no AC and stuff, we keep the windows open. So that calls for bugs. And I mean, good thing I'm wearing jeans right now. But like, I have a lot of like just scars all over my legs from getting bit, and itching them like crazy. But like for instance, one night, this will freak you out, but I was I was laying in my bed in the missions house, and I'm sitting there, I have my phone charging or whatever, and I'm just looking over some stuff, not thinking anything of it, and I feel something on my arm, and I'm like, that's not a mosquito, because usually it's a mosquito, and I'm like, okay, this is different. So I just sat there for a second, just thinking maybe it's my sheet like moved, yeah, just rustling by itself. And then I feel it just crawling up my arm like at a rapid pace to where I can't even move, and I'm freaking out. And then I feel it just jump on my chest, and I'm on my phone, so you know how it's like you see your phone, but everything around you is dark. So I couldn't see anything, and I was like, uh-oh. So I'm looking down, and I turned my flashlight on, and a cockroach jumped off my chest. And these aren't little, like the little cockroaches there. I mean, everything there is 2 times larger than here. Like, I mean, they're all natural. But, so, and not only did I see this cockroach, it jumps off of me and hides itself in my bed. Yeah. And at this point, I'm like, I'm tired. I got to get up early. I just went to sleep. No, I've converted just a tad. Yeah. So that was interesting. Yeah, a lot of bugs, a lot of stuff. I don't really. My relationship with the kids and the girls' home, and well, we call it the girls' home, but it's great. I mean, none of it's really helps with my Spanish because they don't know English, and a few of them do, but a few of them would rather speak to you in Spanish than English because they can't get their point across like they want to, and me too. If I get mad, I just riddle off in English because I'm trying to get my serious point across, but I don't know. It's a really good experience, or it was over there, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about the kids. They're great. They're a ball of joy, and they also have attitudes, but they're good 50% of the time. I don't know. And then there's Rev. Again, I'll tell one more story of Rev, but I don't want to dog on him this whole service. But so we go biking. And it's great. I love to bike. Yeah, it's great. We get lost. We have fun. Your legs are burning. Everything's great. You're having a good time. And then you get back. And you're rolling in. And every time we come back from a bike trip, you have to wash your bike with soap, with water, and dry it off like it's a car. Like lots of stories. Can't tell them. So I'm washing my bike, right? And there's a little drain, because we call it a pila, where you can wash your clothes and stuff, and then there's a drain that goes around the ground. And it's filling with water. And I notice it's filling with water, but I'm like, it's doing its job. It's catching the water so it doesn't, go everywhere. And he's inside making an espresso or something. And I'm washing his bike. And and he comes out, same thing, just like, I can't even say some of the stuff, but like you are just, you gotta be aware of everything. I'm not gonna raise my voice, but he's screaming at me, right? This man can talk or can yell, so he's yelling at me and stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know why he's yelling at me at this point. He's just screaming at me, calling me a pig. I'm Americanized, I have no wisdom, discernment. I could just riddle things off, and I'm like, okay, I did something bad. I'm over here washing a bike, and I did something really bad. And he was like, you don't notice something right here? I said, what are you talking about? And he's like, you don't notice this drain? And I was like, yeah, it's doing its job. And he said, what do you mean it's doing its job? And I'm like, it's doing what it's supposed to, catching water. He was like, no, and just starts yelling at me and whatnot. And that's just a small little story, and it's way worse. If you were there, you really understand what I'm talking about. But I can't really get the point across like he did. But, yeah, he calls me a lot of names, like maricon, as we say in Spanish. That's not, I know. So, so I'm called that a lot. And plenty of other countless words, but he's a great man, you know. And I don't mean that sarcastically. He really is. He's a great guy. But that's just who he is. He's a drill sergeant 75% of the time and a father 25% of the time. He's cool. And for those of you who met him when we went in whatever month it was, you got to know the welcoming Rev. You know that here's my mountain Rev. But welcome to my mountain. But when I'm there, I'm in his mountain, so he's free to do what he wants. So I get the boss man Rev. He's a boss. He really is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to dog him, but he's awesome, and I'm really honored to be there with him and be able to do what I do. And he treats me with respect. As much as he does yell at me, he respects me as well. But what he does is to grow me, because every time I'm there, and everything I do, I'm here to teach you. You're here to learn. I'm going to teach you, and he does it right. Because me personally, growing up in sports and football and stuff, getting yelled at is how I learn. Because if you tell me something soft, it will go out of my mind. I will forget about it. So if you don't really raise your voice to me and really, punch it into my head, I'm not going to remember it. So thankfully, I have someone like that over there that can really teach me, and I'm thankful for that. And then when there's Mama Jessica, who's just a mother, 100% a mother, and she yells at me plenty of times, call me plenty of names, but but along with that, she knows how to be a mom. So she's 75% mom, 25% boss woman. So, well, she's great. Is there anything else that you want me to share that I haven't? I already told that story.
No, you didn't tell that. We weren't.
Okay, it'll be very brief. So, and in that Spanish, Honduran Spanish, they say ba. And for like on the phone, and even just speaking to them, they'll say "ba," but you don't really hear it because it's so fast. But in on the phone, they say it, and for me, "ba" means bye, like that we're done talking. But for him and for all of them, "ba" just means I understood what you said. So it's not a hang up the phone moment. For me, it's a hang up the phone moment, and I'll catch you another time. But so I've done that plenty of times with him, and I've, hung up on him, and then he'll call back, why'd you hang up on me? And I don't know. That's just, I've learned that. That was the first thing I honestly learned, was that and all their slang. So, is there anything else? I want to be able to get my point. Well, I want to do question and answer. I want to open the floor up a little bit. Come on now. So, any of you who have a question, you can ask me and I'll answer it. But if you don't, then whatever. Okay. Okay. All right, the question was, what is the strangest thing you've eaten over there? That's really hard to answer because there's two things. Okay, I'll answer with the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing is the chicken feet. That's definitely the weirdest thing. I've already told you about that. And we eat the toes, and there's a special way that you have to eat them, okay? Like for me, when I first ate them, I grabbed the toenail, and I grab the ankle, and I was just nibbling the toes, right? Just trying to suck the skin off, because it's only skin, right? So I was eating that crap. Oh yeah. There ain't no nutrients in it. It's just straight skin. But you're supposed to, and what I see them, because they get like heaping loads of these feet, and I'm like, wow. I get like 4 or 5, and I'm like, I'm full. I'm good. I'll go eat dirt before I go eat that. And they actually are supposed to take it from the ankle, and you're supposed to stick it all in your mouth at one point and like have the toes down your throat and then like scrape the skin off. So you do that and you scrape the skin off. Now the throat that isn't bad. The throat is actually has some type of meat component to it. The chicken throat, like this area right here. And that actually has some meat and it doesn't taste too bad. And the heart's not too bad. It's just a little bit like a penny, like you're chewing on a penny with all the blood. And they told me that. They said, you when you bite into this, you're going to taste like it's going to be like really bitter and whatnot. That's what I eat the most because it's actually, you can chew it. So, yeah. Good, very good question. Yeah. Well, actually, eating the fish fins was very weird too, because it tastes like omega-3 straight up. It's like drinking the packets. Oh, with no orange flavor, might I add. Yeah. So, all right. Are there any other questions, please? Schedule. Okay. Here we go. All right. So, my schedule. Well, I had two different schedules, but I'll do my current schedule. My schedule now is we sleep. We have to be in our rooms at 7:30. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to go to bed at 7:30. We just have to be in our cuarto, is how you would say it, at 7:30. And at 7:45 we have devotionals, and there's a leader in each room. And because I'm technically not a resident of the rehab, because I'm not. I mean, I didn't go there for a problem, but I'm there to minister, right? I'm not the leader because it needs to be someone of the resident status who is the leader of the room. And we go in there and we do Bible study, reads the verses, we talk about stuff. We do that for about 10, 20 minutes. And then we go to our rooms, do whatever, study, go to sleep, talk. And then we get up every morning at 5. So, and it's not like a nice song on your phone to wake you up, right? It's not like you're waking up peacefully, like, oh. But it's the bell. It's like ding 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 ding, and I'm surprised it's not a trumpet yet, but it's a bell, and that's yeah. So you wake up by a bell at 5 o'clock. After that, you get up, you make your bed with no creases, make sure everything is great and beautiful looking, and then you clean your area. So me and the person who sleeps under me, Ruben, because I'm on the top bunk, we clean some of the room. We sweep, we clean the bathrooms, the walls, which I've never had to do before, mop and whatnot, just the room. And then after that, we go and we eat breakfast at 6, whatever that may consist of, which is usually like, sometimes, it's like eggs and beans, right? But the thing is, when you eat their beans, because of how fresh they are, you'll be chewing on a bean, and then you'll be like, and like it's like there's something hard in the beans. So then you spit it out, and it's a rock. So you're chewing on rocks. So that just lets you know how fresh the food is, which is cool, right? It's totally healthy. Yeah, totally organic. Right out the ground. And honestly, this is kind of gross. Well, not really gross. I don't know. But the beans aren't cooked. Like here, okay, this was the biggest thing that I thought was odd. There, when they cook their beans, if they're not hard, they're not good. Like after they're cooked. Like, because here, we cook, we soak them until they're soft, and we get the gas out of them. You feel me? So, right. So, yeah. So, but when they eat them, like, they said, man, one time I was sitting and I was eating, and I was like just devouring. I was like, wow, these are great beans. They're like, oh, I hate these beans. I was like, why? He said, they're too soft. And I was like, this is exactly how we eat them. He said, and then every other time we've eaten beans, they're hard. You actually have to chew them, and then you have gas. So that's a rough aspect of that. That's really rough. Good Lord. I can't. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still dealing with that here. After Effects. So. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot I was telling my schedule. So you eat breakfast, and then on a Monday, let's just say it's Monday, and after that you clean the entire, like Mondays are our deep clean days, so we clean the entire mission house, like I'm talking like with toothbrushes. It is so clean, and that takes until noon. So we go from 7:30, 8 o'clock until noon, just cleaning straight up everything. It's great though, because then you feel like you're not sleeping in filth and living in filth. Um, and after that, we eat lunch from 12 to 1:30 ish. We have time to eat and have free time, so we can just, well, free time. I say that loosely. You just sit around and read, um, which is cool. And then after that, they ring the bell again. Well, they ring the bell for, for lunch, ring the bell for after lunch, and then we, on Mondays, um, we have Bible study. So we go up in the Bible study room, which I don't know if you guys or any of you saw it when you went. Um, and we all get in there, and a pastor preaches, and we do Bible study. Um, and then after that, we do that until 4:30, and then we're done. Some of us go play soccer. That's when you can go work out if you want to work out, and then and then at 6 o'clock they ring the bell for dinner. You eat dinner. After dinner, a little bit of free time, then the room, and then devotionals, and then bed, and then Tuesday morning. So I only really have to tell these 2 days because it's like off and on, off and on. Tuesday, get up same time, clean your same room, clean the mission house, eat your breakfast. 8 o'clock they ring the bell, and we go out and we do projects all day long. And when I tell you the sun there is 10 times stronger than the sun here, like I'll be out there for 30 minutes and I will be fried. Like I'm still sunburnt right now. My lips are peeling right now. And so it's ridiculous. But we do that again, we go from 8 until noon. Sometimes 12:30, 1. That makes me mad sometimes. But, we mow grass, we rake grass, we fix houses, we do everything that you can do for yard work. And then we eat, 2 o'clock, bell rings again, 1:30 usually. And we go out and we do more yard work and stuff. And that's tough because during my fast, it wasn't like, oh, you can just you can just sit, take naps or whatever you want to do. No, you are working, you're going to Bible study. And me personally, when I'm hungry, I don't know if it's a spirit, but I get like, hangry. I am like not okay. So, and when I sit still, if I'm hungry and I'm sitting still, listening to someone or just sitting with a group, it is not okay. Like I'm freaking out. On the inside, I'm just, whew. But so I'd have to go through Bible study, sit in there and have to sit still and listen to people. Oh, man. And then we'd have to go do work outside. And I felt like I was going to pass out. And it doesn't matter. They're like, oh, okay, well, just drink some water and you're going to be okay. So, okay, all right, tell me, my insurance company. So, and one of the particular days that we had yard work was I had the job, me and a couple buddies of mine, we had the job we had to sweep, for those of you who went, the long road that goes up to the ministry, we had to sweep the entire road, like with brooms, not even with a blower. Like we had to sweep everything, get all the dirt off, make it look like, it's Beyonce's coming. Beyonce. And and I was about to pass. I was like on the verge of passing out after that. But I don't know. We just do stuff like that on the other days. And then my only day off is on a Saturday. I can do whatever I want, hang out, do what I want on Saturdays. But from Sundays through Fridays, it is game on. You're doing stuff. I don't know. I guess it's really it. We do a lot of work. But yeah.
We are glad. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I have the mic.
We're going to see how long this lasts right now. We're about to find out what he learned and what he didn't.
I really I want to say thank you to all of you for supporting me.
Patting
me on the back, keeping me motivated, and even spiritually praying for me. For those of you who've sown into me financially, I really just want to thank you for that. Even it's just a small token, but it makes a big difference. Because honestly, for those of you who have sown into me financially, whether it be, no matter how much it is, stuff there is really cheap. So no matter what dollar, it's just really, it goes a long way. Like $1, okay, let me just explain this to you. $1 US can buy me 4 bags of chips, a soda, and like a I don't know, like a little pastry, just with one US dollar. And saying that, they don't really have that stuff. $1 can feed me for 30 minutes. But yeah, I'll get serious. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to Rev if you even see this. I don't care if you see it. I just want to say thank you to you for giving me the opportunity to stay with you, live with you, and learn with you.
That's great.
Spiritually, physically, and mentally, honestly. I love you all. I'm going to miss you for the next 3 months, whatever you want to call it. And I hope to speak to all of you when this is over.
You will. I love you, buddy.